Everybody, welcome back to Polaris Week 5. We just saw Human Tripwires take down Finest in Finest's fashion. Always, whenever they're first seed in the matchup, they don't win the first map. So you know, we'll see. We're hoping for a reverse. Well, they're hoping for a reverse sweep. I mean, also I am because I predicted them. But you know, we'll move past that anyway. But we're moving next to Tokyo, Japan for Split. And we're going to see if they can come up against this one. But you had some concerns about this, I feel like, didn't you, Moxie?
Yeah, so this is definitely one that I'm very concerned about, considering where we are headed, because we've seen Human Tripwires play on Ascent Twiggy, and it was not the best result when it came to their opponents. In fact, the last time we got to see them, we were casting them, and it was versus H2O, and they got absolutely dismantled by flanks coming out from Sentinel players, and this is something surely that Finest are going to be keeping an eye out for, considering this was something that they did run afoul of on that previous map. Robbie conditioning Finest into anticipating those flanks significantly bit into their offensive half.
Yeah, we're gonna they're gonna have to hope then they don't go to map 3. They have to close things out. Or, well, Finest are gonna have to, well, I mean, they're going to go to map 3 if they're going through. I don't know why I said they're gonna hope, but yeah, but they can close it out in this next map, 1-1, and they'll go through with the win. Well, we'll see. maybe we'll change the rules for a bit. But yeah, no, it is gonna be difficult now with the comeback, and that, I feel like, yeah, maybe Human Tripwires did plan this from the beginning, because it seems like they've backed Finest into a little bit of a corner there. With Ascent left over, it does come together like, aha! I got you. You know, the villain won. The cliffhanger, you know?
Between a rock and a hard place is definitely what you think of when you look at these map picks, and looking at the compositions as well. Neither of these teams are actually running that chamber. The duelist is going to be in the form of the mirror raise. That is going to be mirror compositions across the board, so both of these teams are going to have access to every single thing that the other person does have. Split, of course, though, being heavily defensive favored, is going to be relying for Finest that they want to take things to that map 3 to start things off correct and get as many rounds in the first half as they can beneath that belt.
Well, Machina is going to be the one holding down A. On his lonesome, the Sentinel player. Always. Alright then, you know what? You never need to be A, but don't pre-aim at people's heads. Just pre-aim at their legs, and your mouse will, within an instant, flick up if you are Machina. Who cares about aim? Just aim anywhere and your mouse will end up in the right place eventually.
Oh, that's quite literally a rock and a hard place.
It's a trap, Devo. It's a trap. Don't do it. Don't.
I mean, they have to move forward at some point, right? Otherwise, it's really going to be able to make its way onto those sides. Devo is going to fall into it. Probably does still have the wall if they want to try and get that spike down without contest. They are going to have to either press onto the A side or face once more the gauntlet that is going to be this Sage, who has started to move a little bit closer to Vents now. It's Robbie with no choice and not really a lot of mid-control coming in from Human Tripwires either. So now forced to either take the massively time-wasting rotation through Defender Spawn or push back onto that A side.
I went all the way around and just in time because Bonkar came through on Heaven at the exact same moment. They might now force a... No, they will have heard those footsteps, so they're going to be ready here for A. But they do get the spike down. Human Tripwires somehow have played it just right to get that spike down at the very least, and now Embo will be joining them.
Yeah, but Twiggy, that wall was wasted. They weren't sure where Finest were playing from, and with that little time left, they had to invest it on a gamble. And now, Finest are starting to scramble back onto the side. Robbie's able to find one, but it's not quite enough. It is going to be a defuse coming out. The defense will pick up the pistol, and can now pick up SMGs in the next round.
Yeah. It's a nice try from Human Tripwires to bring things back after those first 2 kills from Finest, but yeah, didn't quite work out for them. Finest just had the better advantage coming into the end of that round, and yeah, Human Tripwires weren't 100% sure of their positioning due to their interesting strats, their interesting rotations. I mean, oh my, what? Machina fell asleep there and it didn't matter. He was looking at his minimap. I know for a fact he was looking at his minimap, right? And you know, every play that happens in ranked, you're like, oh no, I was looking at my minimap, I missed. He doesn't care about that. He can look at his minimap and he'll see somebody come up on his minimap and they'll be like, oh, I have to shoot now, and still get there before the opposition does. Amazing. Amazing.
I mean, there is one advantage for human tripwires, right? The fact that they can choose to push into mid if they want. For Finest, it is a little bit more ingrained to try and use utility as soon as the round starts towards that space. As it is going to be a 1-for-1. However, human tripwires now lacking that Sage. How are they safely going to be able to cross from Garage onto the B site, especially with Kicks now crossing over into Heaven? Going to be keeping a little bit of an eye. It's Destructive. As playing Bouncer towards the B, you try and move through that dark cover, you are going to be walking into the Omen.
Cover going out.
Destructive holding it down. Nice little one-way smoke.
Oh, that's
There
going
we
to be
go. Now
brutal
it's
if
one
Muck tries to cross.
Yeah. Ooh, human tripwires, they don't want to force the issue. They're just sitting there for now. It's probably the best way to play around like this, is just to wait, bide your time until the opportune moment. Ember can back up. Destructive finds his first kill on the site here. He's doing a little more than that, but Vonkar is not going to let him repeat. Not happening. My kills. Doesn't manage to take down Embo. Embo can't do enough damage with the shorty though, and it's all up to Devo. Can't quite do anything. One pick is going to have to do it for human tripwires on the second round. So not a lot of economical damage.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous actual pickup of utility too. The second that Destructive's dark cover runs out, Wonka moves into position with the fault line. So human tripwires who are waiting for the smoke to allow Embo to actually try and close the distance. They get caught up in the blast and then the flashpoint as a subsequent consequence. And from there they're just not really able to make it onto site safely. As the breach covering the Omen is now going to allow fans to take that second round. It is a better buy coming out for human tripwires though, as Bonker is now going to immediately open up with the fault line, not chancing. Human tripwires trying to use that weapon advantage to bulldoze their way up ramp.
Going to be finally playing for some mid control. Break that wall down. Ensure that Finest don't get too comfortable where they are. Now human tripwires do have the better weaponry. They can use that to full advantage, and you can see that's why they're waiting all the way at the bottom of mid. In case one of them peek, they will just have that slight advantage there. Uh-oh, Devo, get out of there. Oh no! He went right into the paint shell. He still got away.
Yeah,
Some
thankfully only
acrobatics.
gets hit by one as
Yeah.
well, and you should be able to make it to Robbie if you do find yourself under a little bit of pressure, but Destructive is the one you have to watch out for. Ooh, a little bit of damage towards Robbie, not enough to find a pick though, and now Mucka, without that mid control coming out from Finest, can try and move up into vents and ropes to challenge and allow the rest of the team to move up from either ramps or main. They've actually been able to chase You've all the way out from vent.
Oh no, oh no, oh, they're both stunned, they're all running around. Robbie is able to find the kill in the end. Now they can push over towards the A site where only Destructive is lying in wait. The rest of the team is rotating, so they need to make it happen quick if they want to get in on that. Destructive can't quite find a single kill. Bonkart trying to clean things up, it's not going to work. 2 players left on the Finest side. If they can win this round out, even if they can get a couple more kills, it'll be nice for them. But now, Human Tripwires take their locations. Machina comes in from behind, gets one, Kicks is there with the second. It's now to a 2v2. Devo not going to let that happen. Machina just trying to wrest back some control, but they've already done enough work. Now he can just pick up a rifle, and no matter what happens, he'll be happy with the round. He finds a kill onto Devo. Embo able to clutch some victory there from the jaws of defeat, but losing 4 players on that round is not a nice thing to face.
Yeah, we call that a tasty bonus. For Finest, both in terms of the type of round and also the picks that they're able to find. As once again, you can really see the trouble that Human Tripwires are having when it comes to controlling that space. They always get relegated to 26 seconds left to try and push onto these sites, and it doesn't really mean that they can clear that space, keep themselves safe, and get themselves into post-plant positions. It's only because Devo is holding up in heaven, really, that they're able to keep that crossfire and make sure that Finest don't separate those fights out into the 1v1s. As Bonka is actually using the paint shells to get a little further forward and grab the ult orb right from Human Tripwires' noses!
Ult orb. Nice. It wasn't enough for the tasty bonus round. Now he wants a tasty ult orb. He wants a tasty ult. A little closer to that now. 2 left to go. But with a judge in hand on split, I can see those 2 kills coming very quickly. Look where he's
Especially
sitting.
when you're
There we
hiding
go.
in vent.
Yeah, he is lying right in wait, but Human Tripwires really maybe a little scared, maybe respectful, sitting back so far. Paranoia from Destructive to try and stop them from picking that spike up, but they did pick it up, and they will head back towards mid. They are just walking straight towards Bonker, I feel like, at this point. Very slowly, but it's happening.
Yeah, again, you can remember last round, right, where they only had 29 seconds to push through, and it does look like they're going for a little bit of mid control, but having no information on how far Finest are playing, whether a player is just going to be waiting at mail or hiding a little bit further back in tower. Mashner is having an absolute field day with that camera, going to get so much information of when human tripwires are going to be pushing out from Garage, forces the double satchel pack jump to come out from D.Va, but the rest of the team not quite able to make up the momentum of their duelist.
Oh, Limbo was looking for a teleport there. It did not work out. Wow. Robbie brings out a ballsy res. Oh, gets the kill as well. Destructive finds Robbie, but there's no time to get to the spike and plant that, so Devo is just going to have to try and take a weapon away from Finest here. At this point, it's not going to happen. He's just going to run away to save that Phantom. And it's another disappointing round for human tripwires. They will have wanted more out of that one. Not the worst, but not the best.
Yeah, this is the main concern, right? When you're trying to tack onto split. Just not having that mid control, having to take so long to rotate over from that A side towards the B, and then that lack of information. Finest playing entirely different to how we saw that defense on Haven, right? Where it was just so much cut noise, so much aggression, rather, on blind defense. Human tripwires are definitely being a little bit thrown by the momentum the defense are pushing towards them. As it's going to be a very aggressive start from Devo, explosive, rather. Double satchel pack right up into ramps. Embo is the one with the shorty who's able to take out Bonker and trade up into the Vandal. Goes hunting, wants to try and take kicks out of the way as well, but comes out of the dark cover, entirely confused on where that Sage's position is.
El no sabe. Pepe laugh. Human tripwires have made something happen. We need more. You see, pulls out the showstopper in a 3v2. Yeah, there we go. Value.
Spike down
Lovely. But in the meantime, Mucky has taken another kill. Or another kill? No, sorry. He's taken another kill for the team. In the same position as the first one. Seems to be a weak spot for them. Mail there. Well, at least human tripwires getting a lot of value out of this round. If they can take another weapon away, at the very least they've done economical damage. You can see Finest have kept it, well, human tripwires have kept it expensive for Finest. A little more of that will be nice. Machina not going to let it happen. 4-1 to Finest now. It seems to just be going the way of the prophecy.
Oh, it's a gorgeous showstopper too. You've seen this one jump, sees main entirely cleared. As another satchel pack gets an eye full of rams. And unfortunately, Robbie just not quite able to get out of the way of this speeding showstopper. And gets stomped over by it, as assuming this is going to be a human tripwires timeout. There it is. This is, of course, their map pick. And at the start of the round, everything seemed to be going A-okay for this team. They were able to find the first pick. They should have had a lot of mid control, but they split themselves so thin. Half of their team, it seemed, wanted to push for mid and maybe go for a little bit of a fake push concern towards the B site, knowing that the showstopper was there. And if you got funneled into Garage, that was one of its most dangerous. But then, because no one's really pushing around A other than Robbie, you see just gets the run of the place.
Yeah, I mean, really, right now the meta doesn't allow for a lot of variation here on Split. You're going to see a mirror comp a lot of the time, especially with these two teams. And with only one initiator right now, it means that generally you're going to be more defensively sided a lot of the time. Finest, you can see they're holding back a lot more than they usually would on other maps. I feel like that is very much because of we've been forced into a corner. We're on this comp on Split here. We kind of just have to do it well. And so far, you know, the fact that they're 4-1, I wouldn't say is surprising so far. Because, you know, Split, how it is right now, the comp that they're running, defense side is going to be a little more strong for them. But they're still playing it incredibly well. Luckily for human tripwires, they've kept it expensive every round. They still have a chance to get back into it. They just need to get a string of rounds here in this first half to work off for the second.
I mean, that's a lot of expensive utility used as well. The D.Va was able to sidestep the fault line with the satchel pack, forced kicks into using the wall very early on. And those are the two main utility bits that Finest have been using to slow human tripwires down when it comes to moving on to those sites. And reflected in that positioning now, Finest having to pull a little bit further back. We're going to be invested making sure that Finest don't get heaven control once more. But Bonker still sitting on the A side, gonna be able to hold on with the Rolling Thunder, and Kix is there for cleanup.
Bonkar invests the Rolling Thunder. When he got that out, the whole of the team of Human Tripwires was still alive. By the time it was finished, there was nobody left. Just in a millisecond, everybody was dead. And,
Pancakes in a blender.
Yeah. Where? What? Sorry? I mean, I
Flip
agree,
them up
but...
like pancakes, and then Kix blends them.
Okay. You know what? Fair enough. Yeah, okay. I can't argue with the logic there, but you know what? Hey, can we get pancakes from here? I can't see. Can you get a pancake from here? No, I think it's just drinks. That's a shame. Oh well. Oh well. They have a blender, definitely.
Oh, Yassine, that's cool. As well, this is something that Human Tripwires aren't going to be expecting. This is really the first time we're actually seeing Finest use that angle. And with Human Tripwires really burning the clock off by themselves. You don't have a lot of time to check these really punishing angles. The Zembo once again is caught midway through garage in the same dark cover. And the rest of the team this time decide to throw him to the wolves so they can try and get a little bit of mid control, but once again Kix is being the thorn in the side with that Sage wall, and you try and push onto the Sage, Bonkar's gonna be there with the crossfire.
Yep. Just taking it slowly once again. Bonkar sat in ropes there, sorry. And Human Tripwires don't really have a lot to work with, so they're playing it slowly. Looking is going to be opening things up, Sheriff in hand. At least they gain a bit of nice positioning, but there are 3 players on site. Yassine will go around for 1, Kix just sprays into the bodies. Gets 2 out of that. There's troubles, Radsky slips off the edge and knocks his head, and Destructive finishes that off. Yassine, yeah, not too difficult for Finest so far, and they've already got 6 rounds and a half. Human Tripwires, if ever they needed to get something done, it's probably now.
It's small alterations to positioning, which is really throwing Human Tripwires for a loop, right? They're not expecting Kix to be up on catwalk. And the second that Yassine sees marker and relays the information, Kix can just peek out and spray into Heaven. And Human Tripwires, because they saw Heaven was clear, because they saw Stairs was clear, they used the flashpoint expecting to catch Kix. Unfortunately, they're in no position to be able to challenge the Sage when the spray comes through. Once again, it's going to be a very early fault line, a very early flashpoint, as poor Ratsky is actually caught out, is able to find 1 before the trade comes through. But you've lost your Cypher, and that was one of your main reliances on being able to cross these punishing angles. You were hoping to use those cages to be able to clear out from these punishing places that Finest have just been setting crossfire after crossfire after crossfire up with.
Well, there's the value gone. Oh yeah, up we go. Machina finds Robbie on top of his own wall. Destructive trying not to let them in towards the site. They don't even want to let the spike go down. Paint Shell pushes them towards the back of the site. Aftershock as well, but Machina taps ahead, taps another head. Looking for the 4th. Is it going to happen? No, Kix is there to steal that one away. 7-1. It's really not seeming like an issue whatsoever for Finest to take these rounds. They, you know, it was definitely expensive for them to begin with, but they've warmed up into their own. And I've always thought, you know, that curse, it's a warming up issue. You know, it just takes them a while to get going, and now they have got going. They're not even sweating whatsoever.
Yeah. And I mean, the opposite can be said for Human Tripwires, right? The fact that in all of that commotion on the B site, it's the spike carrier who crosses into the crossfire first. They don't just throw bodies and try and occupy Finest so they can get the spike down and get a little bit of autonomy. Nope, they go hunting for the kills rather than thinking of that long term, and you can see it's reflected in the buy. They are not in a comfortable position in terms of where they are sitting in this series, but in terms of that mentality as well. They have to really try and reset that. But they've already used 1 timeout. Hasn't been able to find the turnaround that they've been looking for.
Bonkar just keep up that pressure, finds the first pick onto Embo, just not letting them get anything free. That's 1 player in. Radsky might be able to do something from here, but I think Machina is aware that somebody could be there, acutely so. Doesn't manage to find the kill. Shorter range, that... Radsky stunned up. Aftershock, gotta get out of there. Oh, Finest players hunting him down, but maybe... as they're all focusing. Oh, Destructive hit through the wall. It's not enough for a kill. Yassine finds Mucky hit. Bonkar. Oh, there we go. Finds the kill. I was going to say, neither were looking at each other. Somehow, even though Bonker could only look at him. But,
Oh, and
yeah.
now Bonka just goes to sit on A site
Yeah,
again.
exactly. It's
30
still not
seconds
going well
left.
for Human Tripwires.
And I mean, for human tripwires too, like they don't have
there
the
we go.
Sage Wall. Now they can at least drop down from heaven safely. That was the main concern for being able to plant the spike, the fact that Bonka would be able to shoot them without either a smoke or a wall in the way. Robbie's being able to actually infiltrate. They might not be expecting the place to be so close, but Robbie is known for flanking and worming the way into mid, and Finest adapt around it. And I think that's something really that we see human tripwires on their attack rely a lot on. It was something that we saw when they were playing H2O on both Haven and then when we crossed into Ascent. Right, first it was Robbie who would try and move forward, then it was Radsky on the Sentinel who would get that flank off. And it's not really something that we've got to see in this series. Radsky is on the Cypher able to move into backstream, and that's the most progress we've seen human tripwires make towards the site and get the spike down for a very long time.
Yep. We've seen weirder things happen in Polaris this stage than a comeback from 8-1. Still possible for human tripwires to bring this back, and once again they are on a full buy. They can make that happen, but they're going to have to win 2, 3 in a row to stop Finest from buying up fully. So even if they get this one, there's still work to do. Devo pushes all the way in. Showstopper committed towards back of sight, but he's flashed up and stunned up, and that didn't get any value, so he just loses his life for nothing. Now, Finest just push in. Showstopper committed immediately, almost takes down a teammate. Human Tripwires do have control of the site now. Bonka holding up in heaven, gets taken out from behind by Robbie. Now Finest wrapped all the way around the back. It's whether Human Tripwires can figure out how many players are towards ramp hit. I don't think they'll be expecting 3. Out comes the Satchel, and Yasina's going to push straight in towards. Elbow hit. Muggy takes off his head. 4v3. Oh, Sheena able to find 1, but not before. Damage is done. Human Tripwires on the edge of their second round here in this half. And as the spike ticks down, Kicks can't do anything more. Robbie finds a kill. 8-2. Human Tripwires can bring this back now.
It's a costly one though. A lot of ultimates invested from either side. But they do manage to get a second run in the half. Their economy can now start to recover. They've got a Rolling Thunder as well if they want to be able to clear these sites, but you can see the way that they used the Showstopper as well. They were expecting Bonka to be sat backside. This is something that the Breach has conditioned them into expecting, that early fault line coming through into lobby. And into essentially what they're just waiting to try and push onto that A site. And that's why the Showstopper was directed there. And that's why Bonka was in an exact opposite position. But now Human Tripwires, they've seen the crack in Finest's armor and crack in their defense is aggression. If Human Tripwires can get him fast enough, they can push this defense away.
Oh, Mucky with a bit of a fake check there. But Embo will guard that res, and Onkar is going to be left on site by himself. Not going to happen. Oh, Finest seemed to have been hit with a bit of a shock there.
Planted.
All the way taken down. It's a well-formulated push. Human Tripwires have been learning from what Finest have been doing so far. Took him out. Radsky already knew Machina was there. Gets the kill. 8-3. Clean fashion as well, I do say so.
Last round in the
9-3 kills? Question mark?
The problem at the moment, though, is that yes, we're seeing the adaptation that Human Tripwires were able to find on Bind, but it's nowhere near to the same level of extent,
Yeah.
right? They were able to very quickly wrap their head around how Finest were playing the pacing that Finest were pulling off on their Bind defense within 2 rounds, 3 rounds. This time, it's taken them to round 12 to be able to work. And this is the last round in this half. Human Tripwires are once again going to have to wrap their head around how Finest are pushing in, the pacing, the timing. They have to be able to adapt faster if they want to be able to come out on top in this series.
Finest playing reactively here. And they are going to head up towards B Heaven. Oh, but Embo's just lying in wait, can spray him down, didn't even need to hit heads there. Destructive finds Muggy, who is anchoring mid. But in the meantime, players are running everywhere. Up comes the wall, that's going to give them free entry towards the B site. Destructive is going to have to do a lot. Out comes the Paranoia. Robbie is blinded now. Oh, but that cage is perfect to give him space, time to plant, and then the ability to come around the corner and get that kill. Radsky trying to hold it down, and Bonka has too many options to choose from, and decides to go with none of the options. Machina, 1v4.
No reason to save. And try to be the hero for the team. Gonna immediately try and cross into fence, but Amber's gonna stop that entirely. And human tripwires, they do see if they're able to get that mid-control and slot a player in where Finest are least expecting it. That is when they are able to find value, and the side swap now coming through. Human tripwires now crossing into the defense. We have seen so many times a team struggle on the attack and split, and then being able to pull it back on that defense. Excel immediately comes to mind. This is one of those teams who do. They struggle on the attack, and then the second that they get onto that defensive side, they look so much comfortable. The problem for human tripwires is that it's 8-4, and if they lose pistols, then they're going to essentially be forcing until Finest hit match point.
It's it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse for human tripwires. They've done well to bring it back to an 8-4, but they do need to do a lot more work than that to keep this one up, and a good pistol round will start that off nicely, and I dare say that they could finish things out if they win this pistol round. It's not outside the realm of possibility whatsoever. Embo's going to have to do the first bit of work, but he's blinded up at just the right time. Yassine finds the first kill. Destructive is there with the ghost to take down Robbie as well. Human tripwires back up once again. It's now a 3v5 in this retake, and Finest have well formulated their aggression there to get all the way in and get control of site. They now have nice post-plant positions, and human tripwires have to think very carefully about how they want to retake this one. Destructive takes out Nookie. More damage for Finest. They want to get this game over and done with as quick as possible. They don't want to give human tripwires the time of day on defense here, and Destructive is going to look for a little more as Devo turns around the corner trying to get in towards site, but they're just not giving them any space. Bonkar finds the first and the second. Ratsky only getting one as a consolation prize. Now 9-4 to Finest, and that puts human tripwires in a very awkward position.
And there is the big difference maker, right? The fact that Finest have confidence to not try and press mid, and that then when they move onto the site, they are not cowed by a smoke coming out. It's Yassine who moves in with a double satchel pack jump that immediately allows Finest to move from garage onto site, and human tripwires, because they're so spread across this map, get caught out having to rotate, unable to stop Finest from getting those post-plant positions that they themselves were denied when the sides were swapped. And you see now buying into that Vandal. They're trying to bait human tripwires. They're trying to make them think we're going to be aggressive. You need to move forward. You need to stop us. But this is Finest trying to bait the defense, push them in so that those distance fights Finest always come out on top of with the SMGs, with the rifle. As poor human tripwires, with what they're equipped with, may as well be running in with pea shooters if it becomes a matter of meters.
Got one.
Lucky the pea shooter did not do a lot of damage. Well, Robbie might be doing a little more. Yassine is ready for that positioning. Oh, and Destructive is ready for Embo to be there as well, and human tripwires don't manage to find anything so far at all. A little bit of damage onto Destructive. Apart from that, no dice for them. Devo is going to... I mean, you have to get one pick here, I feel like. Just try and take away that Vandal at the very least. Oh, it's good from Devo to know, to hear where that spike was being planted and go for the kill, but it was being protected, and that right click with the classic is not really easy to calculate.
Yeah, I mean, I would have potentially thrown the satchel pack
right
towards it, but satchel packs and Ali can be a cruel mistress. Misjudge it, and you end up banging your head against the ceiling, and the concussion is not what human tripwires are looking for. As Radsky is just forced to try and find any sort of exit frag, but Finest are not trying to challenge the Cypher. They are remembering the round on Bind where they lost 2 of their players unnecessarily by chasing after picks that they did not need, and they will be able to take themselves to double digits. This is the deciding round for human tripwires. This is a full buy that they can afford into. But if they lose this Twiggy, it's going to be 2 forces in a row when Finest are getting closer and closer to match point.
Yeah, this is completely necessary here for human tripwires. They really, really need to get this round if they want a chance of bringing this map back. Obviously, they are 1 up in the series. They still have 1 more to go, and as we said, I think they do have slight advantage coming into Ascent, but it's really important that they at least put up a fight here. You can't let Finest get away with a lot of momentum going into that last map.
Well, that already is a lot of utility entirely wasted, as Finest are just a little bit further back, waiting in link rather than immediately trying to sprint up ramps, and Gon is got slower. Gon is one of your paint shells A brutal combination that could have been used to try and hold hallowed ground like Mail, but Finest once again waiting to see whether human tripwires are going to challenge. They know that they're coming in on the weaker buy. Devo's going to slot back, make sure that mid has not been crossed into, hold a crossfire in vent. Just looking to see if someone's satchel packs over wall.
Oh, Devo!
Two is able to find three! Just uses a little elevated distance on stairs to catch a glimpse of all of those players. And in an absolute blink of an eye, human tripwires have been able to find a favor. They've held their ground.
That'll do it.
30 seconds left.
It makes the rest of this round a lot easier for them.
I have retrieved the spike.
I don't quite know which way to look. But Finest have kind of run out of options at this point. There's not a lot you can do in this situation, and Robbie will just get rid of that final Vandal player. It's just Machina left.
10 seconds left.
As good as we know he is, 10 seconds left and he's stuck in mid.
He's window shopping.
Yeah, exactly. Is there a rifle here? Hey. Oh, can he grab it? Can he grab it? Can he grab it? Can Devo? Oh.
I mean, he grabbed it.
He did.
You just can't keep a hold of it. They're slippery things.
They are. Yeah, that new skin is very. There's a lot of water in it. I feel like it can leak everywhere. And I mean, come on, look. There's an octopus on top of it.
So you went for the nice image. I was gonna go for the far darker. Like a lot of blood probably makes it very slippy to hold on to.
Yeah.
This is just that moment that allows human tripwires that breathing space to be able to hold on in this area just a little bit further.
Dance.
But now is the true test. Finest gonna be coming in on a full buy. 5 rounds still differentiating themselves from their opponents as now human tripwires. Emboldened. Gonna start making a little bit more space. In fact, Devo in a really punishing angle if you try and move into lobby. But Finest no. Not really being able to check their corners fast enough without something like a chamber. You can immediately TP if you come under a little bit too much fire. They're opting for the safer, more reliable route. Very little mid-control coming out from human tripwires is making them extremely wary, though. They have to be anticipating that the defense is waiting to meet them at their destination rather than halfway through their journey.
Finest have slowed down their approach quite a bit since that first round. They really don't want to lose this, because that could set off a domino effect for human tripwires that could give them this map. And I mean, after the first map that they faced, I'd be scared of human tripwires as well. Finest are going to try and make something happen towards B here. They go quickly. Radsky is taken down immediately.
30 seconds
Need
left.
a little more than that. Probably holding on site, but is going to be taken down by Machina. They've already got 3 kills. They can move in. They can get that spike down. And it's a pretty big task for Devo and Embo to bring this one back. We've seen Devo get 4 kills in a round before.
Oh no.
You may see it done again. Oh, it's good to break the wall. Embo able to get a trade, but he still needs to get 3. Has a smoke available now. Paranoia still there. 2 teleports. Out goes the Paranoia, but he's been tagged up by the camera. And that'll be it. Kicks, takes him down. 1 away from match point for Finest. Human tripwires got themselves a little bit of breathing room, but their heads are still just barely above the water.
Yeah, it's not enough kills either to really dismantle Finest's economy. So close to getting that prize free that you love to talk about. Unfortunately for them, Finest on 11. Still feeling very comfortable in terms of that economy. And I mean, we are seeing the cost, right? That human tripwires, that momentum turned against them, not able to find quite as many rounds on the attack, has left them feeling very antsy, has them almost entirely congregated in mid. Does at least mean that no one is going to be hit as Finest move into that B site. Human tripwires now holding a little bit further back, but Destructive already TP'd into alley. It's going to be the cat amongst the pigeons, the Omen unexpected, and already Finest have got the spike in the ground.
Finds one more as well, just to make matters worse. The spike is already on the ground, and Finest holding it down. Lucky walks in, gets one more, but Destructive is on track for an ace. There's one player left. Devo finds Machina, but he does not want to give Destructive that ace, and he is going to run well away from that at full speed. Has a showstopper available for this last one, but they're going to have to try and stage the comeback from the 12th round of Finest.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a
for
nice
Finest
situation.
as well, it was a win-win situation, right? You either pull that showstopper out and guarantee that you can just rush onto those sites. And you can see Destructive is hunting. He wants that ace. He doesn't care about the weapon at the moment. He wants the Razor's head, but Devo will be able to survive another round. Rifle brought in, Phantom and Showstopper still going to be in play for Human Tripwires, but it's not going to be a clean buy coming from this team. And it is going to be the Raze who has to come up absolute top trumps in this round. That Showstopper has got to find value to be better yet. It has to delay Finds from being able to move on to those sites.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do. It's a heavy burden for the duelist on the defensive split. To be able to stop everybody with just that. Radsky fires 50 bullets into Yassine's legs, but it's not enough to get the kill, and he's going to be taken down, trying to stare up into the air. Mucky gets the first kill on the side of Human Tripwires. They do get the spike down, Finest. Oh, Devo finds Machina through the smoke. And they can start a retake. They need to clear a lot of angles. A wall has been used for Finest to keep them away. Devo is taken down. No more showstopper available for them. 3v3 and 2 judges on the side of Human Tripwires, just making it that much more difficult to move in. Mucky, the only one with a rifle, and he is going to be taken down. And Finest are looking all the way at that 13 scoreline. 13-5, and Finest looking for another reverse sweep.
Yeah, for Human Tripwires, that Showstopper needed to open up the round and find a pick. To be honest, the fact that Finest were able to get the spike onto the ground before the Showstopper came out, worse that they had the time to be able to get themselves into position. So that there was not just smoke, not just a sage wall, but natural cover for them to be able to hide if the Showstopper came through, and then bait one by one, trying to draw out Devo's position, pick out the Raze, and then pick out the remaining fragments of Human Tripwire's hopes.
Yeah, I mean, it started off well for Finest, and it just... Yeah, I mean, it got them over the line. That first half was enough to do a lot of damage to Human Tripwires, probably both mentally and in general, in terms of the round scoreline. Gets them over the line, and they're looking at, again, that reverse sweep. It seems to just be their trademark at this point, and they're not letting it go this time. We're going to be heading into Ascent next. I mean, we've kind of pointed out how Finest might not be the team on top on paper against Human Tripwires on this map, but from what I've seen from Finest, I don't think that really matters what happens on paper. In the end, they're a team that performs on the day, and they've done it so many times already that it's definitely on the cards no matter what.
Yeah, honestly, they're a team that are just so good at adapting that they really are just the best team to be outfitted for these free map series. In fact, if you look at their previous escapades, against Excel it was 8-13, against Heat it was 8-13 on map 1, map 2 then became 13-10, and then map 3, when they'd had 2 maps to digest their opponents, came 13-5 and 13-4.
Well, I mean, Finest put up an amazing performance. Once again, it's one of these performances where everybody's getting involved. I mean, Bonkart, the lowest with 119, still formidable, and everybody else pretty much above 200 for the team. And Destructive doing so much work on Omen there, and we know how good Omen can be on the split. I mean, we saw it in Champions. Ascend brought out the Omen on split and completely shell-shocked everybody with it, and since then it's been a staple, no matter what the meta has been. So, I mean, Finest, they just need to take it over the line now. I can see them doing it, but they're going to have to win Ascent, which is not quite the map that they want to be coming up against Human Tripwires on.
I would say, though, that after having come off of Split, which is where you do have to worry about the same battle tactic of those flanks coming out from the Sentinel plays, that they are definitely feeling emboldened and confident enough to be able to be moving on to this map, right? We were expecting those flanks to be coming out from Human Tripwire Cypher, and the one round that we were able to see it was the one round on their attack that they were able to gain some serious ground, but it was just the one round that they were allowed to pull off those shenanigans, and moving into Ascent, if they're not able to use that tactic, which is something that they have relied heavily on in the past, they're either going to have to adapt or face a defeat.
Well, Finest definitely have the momentum in their favour, but they still have to take it over the line to beat Human Tripwires in once again another reverse sweep. We will see what happens. We're going to head to a short break to give the players some time to think about what they're going to come up against here.
So, right. Phoenix!
No?
Let's go, boys!
Vamos!
Let's go, boys!
Yeah, just chill.
On ping. Nice.
Planting.
Stem spot. He's dead.
Well played.
Nice. All I need.
It's a love tonight.
Lol. He's AFK or what?
Are you kidding me?
You're stealing my kills, Foxy.
Run for this one, yes?
Yes.
It's fine, Male. Don't do it, Male. Go in. Oh. Not on it.
Let's go! Boys! I love you! Oh my god, I love you! I love you guys! I love you so much!
On the heaven dead. He's short.
Short main side.
Janet, main. Minus 70.
Yeah, he's 1 HP done.
Nice!
Nice.
Let's go.
We like it spicy. Let's go. I'm gonna go B last round.
If he sticks to the defuse though, he doesn't have to worry about the lockdown. Oh, but now he has to. Taken off of it. Oh, but he finds the kill!
Good.
Nice!
Nice! Now what?
The 1v3 for the boys to see it out. Bro, I thought the turret was gonna kill me, bro. I was so scared.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Cypher's here as well.
Open the door.
Dashed in, he's in.
Stairs. Dead stairs.
Out main, both main. One more. Cypher's there.
Nice! Come on, boys!
Let's go!
Played! That's how we roll, boys!
Nice, guys. Let's go, man.
Let's go.
I'm so tired of you always playing